quarterback job,
and it shows up from time to time. What he's not very good at is he gets sticky in the pocket. He doesn't like conflict when he gets down in there. So UCLA tonight struggled last year. I mean, their offensive line was not very good in Arizona.
Second down,
probably not that much better here as they continue to rebuild, or they start their rebuild here in Miami. But he had 11 touchdowns, 14 interceptions last year. But he is a talented passer, and it shows up. We're not going to see a lot of what he's not very good at is crazy split schemes out of Todd Bowles tonight, but this is the perfect situation for it. 3rd and 5. You're not expecting to play coverage. You probably need to be closer and man-to-man. Do not be shocked if you see about 6 bodies populate the backfield here.
That's Ford in motion. Isaiah Ford, who just caught the pass from the pocket. Rosen has a moment, throws, and dropped at the 35-yard line. Would have been enough for a first down. Preston Williams, who made some spectacular catches in the Dolphins preseason opener, couldn't hold that one in the punting unit out for Miami. You know, it's rare, when you think about Rosen, it's rare a guy is drafted in the opening round 10th overall at quarterback, and only one season he's shipped out of town.
Yeah, it's tough, and you can just go down the sideline, Chris, and ask Byron Leftwich about him. He coached him last year. He was the interim offensive coordinator after they made some moves there, and yeah, they tried to trade him in the offseason, or Miami tried to trade for him, I should say, in the offseason, and finally on draft day, they got a deal done to get him down here.
Matt Hawk booms it away. Fair catch called for. Bobo Wilson at the 33-34 line of the Buccaneers. After that opening drive stall, Jameis Winston in the heat and humidity.
I'm crossing children.
I'm enforcing traffic laws.
I'm building safer streets.
We're driving down pedestrian and bicycle fatalities.
I won't stop.
I won't stop.
I won't stop.
We won't stop until we get to 0.
Because every life counts.
When a bear is chasing you, you take off faster than a toupee in a fan factory. Move that fast to the Ford Hurry Up and Save sales event, where for the first time ever, get 20% estimated savings on select Ford SUVs. Plus, earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards. Word to the wise, don't get left behind, because missing this deal on the SUV's #1 in brand loyalty will come back to bite you. Get in or lose out on 20% estimated savings on select Ford SUVs. Plus, earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards.
We're working together to drive down pedestrian and bicycle fatalities.
Closed captioning brought to you by Nissan for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, Dan Lucas down on the field. Blaine Gabbert is your new quarterback. So Jameis Winston 2 out of 4, 24 yards. Took that 11-yard sack. Had a nice run that aided the drive and a penalty. But now it seems like Gabbert, who played for Bruce Arians in Arizona, knows the system, has nailed down the backup job to Winston, and he's out throwing on first down, and wide open is Andre Ellington, also a former Cardinal when Arians had such success there in Arizona.
I think this was the game plan too. Get them their one drive, that one unit, and then spend the rest of this game identifying some depth along the offensive line. They lose Evan Smith. They cut him last week, and you're going to pay attention to a battle on the Bucs offensive line. It's that center position, that backup center position. Josh Laribas and rookie Nate Truen have to fight it up to see who's going to be here.
Pickup of 5. Ellington had a year off. Last played in 2017. Split between the Cardinals and the Texans. Went unsigned last year and gets up to the 40-yard line. So some familiarity. Bruce Arians at age 66. He's the oldest Bucs coach. Of course, John McKay at 61 retired, but Arians likes his veterans coming in, and Ellington, Gabbard.
I think it's important, especially when you're in a new situation, to bring in guys that are familiar. Andre Ellington, Kevin Minter is that guy on the other side of the ball for the Bucs defense. So yeah, it helps with the young guys learn the system, and they have definite value. And by all intents and purposes, the Bucs are going to keep 4 running backs. So I think Andre Ellington's the guy we'll see around here for a while this season.
Justin Watson in motion. They need 3 for a first down. Gabbard dumps it short, but short of the first down. Ball comes out after the catch was made, and the Dolphins are on it. Let's see if the official, yes, it is a Miami takeaway. Eric Rowe. Ellington had it. Tried to get upfield.
The ruling on the field is the catch followed by a fumble and down by contact. First down, Miami.
They'll spot it back at the original recovery where Eric Rowe scooped the football.
I'm pretty sure this is an incomplete pass. I don't know that he ever, well, that's close. He did take it down. He did tuck it away and make a football move.
Yes, Sam McGuavin forced it out. And of course, it's like scoring plays. Turnovers reviewed by the booth upstairs officially and ruled a fumble by the Bucs, recovery by the Dolphins. And at the 34-yard line, first turnover of the game, the Dolphins set up in good shape. And they are still reviewing.
The ruling on the field of a catch fumble is under further review.
Brad Allen, in his 6th season as a referee, says we have to take a closer look. Scoreless here in the opening quarter.
We're working together to drive down pedestrian and bicycle fatalities.
We are working together to drive down pedestrian and bicycle fatalities.
We're all working together, and we won't stop until we reach 0, because every life counts.
Because your life counts.
Summer isn't long, but summer to-do lists are. Let a Ford F-150 help quickly turn your to-dos into ta-dons. During the Ford Hurry Up and Save sales event, get 20% estimated savings on select Ford F-150s, plus earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards. It's a hit, so chill and enjoy your summer in America's best-selling trucks 42 years straight. Get in or lose out on 20% estimated savings on select Ford F-150s, plus earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Miami.
The Buccaneers hired Larry Rose, former NFL official, as a consultant for the team and also to help on challenges and replays. Brad Allen, after the review, says the play stands. Dolphins take over on the fumble recovery with Josh Rosen from the Buccaneer 34-yard line. Mark Walton fights to get inside the 32.
When you take a reverse look at this, Chris, I'm tending to agree with the ruling here, because he does make a football move, turns up the football field. He looked like he had possession, and I think most important, Not enough to overturn, not enough visual evidence to overturn the ruling on the field. So the Dolphins get their takeaway.
In the secondary for the Bucs, newly signed veteran safety Darian Stewart wearing number 27. You double up with 90 players on the roster. Ronald Jones has that number on offense. You see him after some injuries and other issues in that secondary. Rosen, catch made. Walton, the running back, split out and ran inside the 20 for a Dolphin first down.
I think it's important if you're the Bucs right now. You get in these situations, no matter what happens, whether it's a big play allowed or turnover by the offense, the most important thing, and I'm sure this is what the defensive coaches are talking about, hold them to a field goal attempt here.
And they run to the line for a quick snap after they pick up 12. The running play doesn't get much as Bo Allen in there primarily playing his first game of this preseason after missing the opener with Vita Vea out. He made the stop.
Bo Allen's up there. Carl Nassib saw Ndamukong Suh to start this football game. He's not in there. Will Golston is another guy who you could look for size inside. It's tough to run inside with those big bodies in there.
Dolphins lost a yard. They run again with Walton. It's inside the 20. Walton's second year from the University of Miami. Had some offseason arrest issues. Was released by the Bengals, but has come on and played well. Kenyon Drake suffering an ankle injury. Kalen Ballage has looked impressive for the Dolphins in the running game. On 3rd and 9. Still a light rain falling, but not as heavy as early. Rosen with time at the 12, spinning out of a tackle and knocked out is Preston Williams. Vernon Hargraves was there. There's a flag down inside the 10.
From where that flag came in, Chris, I think this is going to be a personal foul.
Now, how can you tell that from up here?
Well,
you played the game. I know you were down there on defense, running into people, tackling people.
You can hit people hard. You can't hit them with their helmet.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 28. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
And that is called on Hargraves.
I don't think that it was Vernon Hargraves who got this foul. I think it was 23, Dayon Buchanan, who came in late and made that hit.
We'll take another look, because you saw Preston Williams kind of spin out of it. First down and goal to go. Walton trying to turn the corner, but thrown down at the 8-yard line. Jordan Whitehead. And another flag down.
A great play by Jordan Whitehead. That play when it first started.
Holding, offense number 89. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That play when it first started looked like it was going to gain the edge and get around the corner, but Jordan Whitehead filling in for Justin Evans, who was still out with his ankle injury, came in and made a nice tackle. And if you're the Bucs, you take this 10 yards, obviously push them back. And look, I said it earlier, this is a chance. This is a chance when you're a defense to rise to the occasion. And I like that their first unit is still out here with an opportunity to prove themselves on this red zone drive.
Rosen's throw down inside the 10 is Kenny Stills, knocked down around the 7-yard line where it'll be 3rd and goal. Stills, the former New Orleans Saint from Oklahoma. Devontae Parker and Jakeem Grant both inactive for the Dolphins today, along with Albert Wilson, all at the receiver position.
Well, Kenny Stills is a heck of an athlete. Big vertical threat. Doesn't necessarily translate much down in the red zone because he's not a huge receiver, but he could run away from any DB.
Walton again is smothered at the 9-yard line.
There's Will Golston again. Him, Bo Allen, I'm telling you, Chris, he's in a better position now as an interior defensive lineman than he ever was as a defensive end in his other scheme. It's just the size and his strength. There's one thing that he improved in the offseason. He got bigger and stronger, not needing that extra gear to rush the corner. And I got to tell you, he's a tough guy to move.
He'll be tougher when Vita Vea is in the lineup. And Jason Pierre-Paul returns in October. 3rd and goal from the 9. Pressure Pressure picked up. Rosen's throw won't get in the end zone. It'll be 4th down, and we'll see how Brian Flores wants to play this. And looks like they're going to go for it. You know, not bucking the trend of hiring all the young offensive assistants. The Dolphins went the other way, just like the Bucs. Bucs went with a veteran offensive coach. Flores a defensive-minded coach. Bucs were calling for timeout. One of the players at the goal line couldn't catch the number, but he was hollering, trying to get the officials' attention there to call time.
Charge timeout. Tampa Bay there first. It will be 30 seconds.
Well, Bruce Arians is on the sideline livid because Miami substituted. You're supposed to get an opportunity to substitute on defense. 2 guys came in from Miami, and you saw the Bucs running 4 or 5 guys off the field. And they should be allowed time to get their guys into the football game.
And I think that's what Arians is explaining or talking to the referee about. On 4th and goal. That catch Mike Gesicki had got him down to the 2. And let's see if they're going to try something.
Well, they just substituted back in their their sub package, okay. So they have 3 wide receivers on the field after putting in the big package. So you get this spread offense here. Expect a one-on-one usually from those 2 inside receivers here.
Rosen, low throw and incomplete, and the Dolphins fail to get into the end zone. Trying to go to Isaiah Ford, but Todd Bowles' defense, after all that, both teams moving with the football, but scoreless. Only turnover in the game. It's a Miami takeaway, but zeros in the opening quarter. Wake up prepared with the station on your side with weather and traffic on the 8s. Stay ahead of the storms and delays with your morning commute. Weather traffic on the 8s, weekday mornings only. News Channel 8 today. Gabbard 2 out of 2, negative yard. Coming in after Jameis Winston in 1 series. And the Bucs, after the defense does its job, takes over offensively at their own 2. And Bruce Arians still upset about having to use a timeout to make the point to the official about that substitution, Rhonda, that you were explaining, but that's the way it goes. Dare Ogunbowale, the running back. Watson in motion. And Straight ahead, some tough yards, but good yards. Up across the 11-yard line.
Well, what he does best, and we saw it last week, Chris, on his touchdown in Pittsburgh, and he makes people miss in the hole. He's such a quick athlete. He's bigger than you think he is. He's about 5'11", 210. But he has great foot quickness. That should make this guy miss right there. Goes right by and picks up great yardage after contact. If you're Bruce Arians, you're loving what you're seeing out of this kid already.
Picked up a first down, undrafted, signed by Houston. Bucs had him last year as he fights for more yardage. A walk-on at Wisconsin, initially a corner, moved to running back and played extensively for the Badgers in 15 and 16.
Yeah, when I talked to the Bucs coaches about him, they said, yeah, he's still got a lot to learn. He's still figuring out how to be a running back. I mean, the fact that he played corner in college, it tells you the type of athlete that he is. And I like him. He can be multiple use guy out of the backfield. He's got fantastic hands. He can be a returner. He'll shine on special teams and coverage units, and I like what they have him.
So behind Ellington, Barber, and Jones, the fourth back, and Arians at the moment thinking of keeping all four. Gabbert to throw. Oh, he got it over one defender, and it bounced inside the 35.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
He's trying to go to Justin Watson.
That was like a pitcher, like a sinker.
That looked like something at the carnival where you try to throw through certain objects.
You had a great description of it. He got it over the defender, and then it was diving to the ground before Justin Watson could make that catch. But tough catch for Justin Watson. He is in a battle, I think, too, to make this roster or help the coaching staff decide whether or not they're going to keep 5 or 6 receivers. One guy that's really showed up recently on this team is Bobo Wilson, who's outside at the X receiver right now.
Third down, wide open, but can't hold it in and out of the hands of Bobo Wilson, and it's fourth down.
Well, I think is there such thing as jinxing?
That's just bad timing. Because
in the NFL, God.
Yeah, we've already seen a few drops. Maybe that's the slick conditions out here tonight on the wet football.
Oh, I think you're right, but you got to come down with this football. Not only is it a catch for a first down, look at all that room that he's going to have to run once he catches it. That's not going to help his calls.
But the top 3 receivers are set, right? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Rashad Perryman.
Completely set. You're exactly right. Those 3 are definite. And I asked Coach Arians who the fourth, maybe Scotty Miller, who we haven't seen yet because of his pulled hamstring in the preseason, and he wasn't ready to commit to that. So I think that competition for 4, 5, and 6, if they keep that many, is still wide open.
Preston Williams on the return and brought down right away by M.J. Stewart. Bruce Arians, who one time babysat because of your father being a roommate of his back at Virginia Tech, you and Tiki Barber.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, well, this is the only team in the league that has all 3 of the coordinators African American. There's the picture. Now, which one are you? Do you know which one is you? That's Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians looks like Jimmy Buffett.
He claims the one on the right is me.
Okay,
but I have no idea.
We'll trust him.
We're twins. We look alike, right?
And you know so he's almost family. So I've heard. A 45-yard punt, negative on the return, but a tough run here. Miles Gaskin gets up near a first down, but the coordinators going back, Bruce Arians as a player was one of the earliest to room with an African-American player, your father. And it's just been through his coaching career that, he has, you talk about diversity, and on this staff, all 3 of his coordinators, Leftwich, Todd Bowles, Keith Armstrong, all African-American. The only one who has been able to pull that off. Tough hit, Gaskin. In the secondary, Kevin Minter making the play.
I love linebackers that run through gaps. He is instinctive, plays downhill. Of course, he has familiarity, but that is a Todd Bowles scheme right there. And you see the 2 guys going to the left, opens up a gap.
Defense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Yeah, the flag came down late. At least we noticed it late.
Well, I think
Patrick O'Connor.
Yeah, I think we know why that gap was so big.
Now we understand.
Patrick O'Connor. And defensive linemen, trust me, do this all the time. If they know that a pressure's coming to either side of them, they'll grab an offensive guard or tackle so they can move them out of the way for that free hitter to come through the hole. But we got caught there.
Resets the Dolphins with a first down. 48-yard line of the Bucs. And the clock will run down unless this penalty. Okay. One of the members on the left side of the offensive line jumped.
The clock expired prior to the start of the play. Therefore, this is the end of the first quarter. There is no foul. End of the first quarter.
On the Spectrum Mobile scoreboard, Spectrum Mobile has unlimited talk, text, and data. Save up to 40%. Go to SpectrumMobile.com today. After a scoreless opening quarter, glad to have you with us at Raymond James Stadium. Starting the second quarter, each team has moved the ball as Rosen throws behind his receiver, Mike Gesicki. A check of the first quarter statistics brought to you by Southern Ford. Get the most out of summer in a Ford, America's best-selling brand. They went on fourth down. Did the Dolphins failed when they had a scoring chance when the Bucs were close? A sack on Winston, who played the opening series. And the Dolphins have the only takeaway so far. Second down, 10. Spotted inside the 48 of Tampa Bay. Middle of the field caught, but knocked down right away, bringing up third down, going to Gesicki as Kevin Minter was there to make the play.
He's an interesting tight end. Big, tall, athletic guy, skinny, volleyball player, but so athletic. Tough cover for anybody, especially those linebackers.
Yeah, Rodney, good to see Jamal Dean out there. Didn't play last week. The rookie from Auburn, third rounder.
Well, look at him. He's big, he's broad, and he's 6'2", and he ran a 4.24. I mean, what's not to like about this kid?
Working against Kenny Stills. Rosen, pressure coming, drops it off. Stills with a first down inside the 35 of the Buccaneers.
Look at all this man-to-man coverage, and I think very similar things happened last week against Pittsburgh. You're going to see a ton of crossing routes, and you got speed at wide receiver with Kenny Stills. All he's got to do is win at the line of scrimmage and just run away from Sean Murphy-Bunting. Easy throw for the quarterback right over the football, and all you can do is get him on the ground there.
We saw newly signed Darian Stewart rushing in on a safety blitz. Gaskin smothered. You know, it's interesting when the Dolphins went for it on fourth down. The percentage of conversions of fourth down was 56% last year in the league, indicating that not only are coaches going for it more on fourth down, but they have a better chance, or at least they're proving they have a better chance of making it, signifying aggressive approach.
Well, I think most coaches realize that the analytics, if you get into that, tell you to don't ever kick it. Go for it. Which is 50% chance.
You only get so many possessions in a game.
Exactly, and I think that's the key point, Chris. You make an excellent point there. That you have so few possessions. Why not go for it? And then if you're Brian Flores, it's your first time as a head coach. And
false start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
He's going through the process of identifying who's he going to be. I mean, I feel for first-time head coaches sometimes. I mean, how are you running training camp? How are you putting in your offense? What's your culture that you're trying to establish? You got to temper expectations, but you also want to try to be good, and it's always tough for first-time guys.
Rosen with time, a high throw, hauled in, and the catch made inside the 30 of Tampa Bay by Bryce Butler. He's in a battle really with Alan Hearns for a receiver spot on this team, and he went up to get that one.
I think you mentioned earlier a number of offensive weapons that they have out at wide receivers, including Kenny Stills and Jakeem Grant, Devontae Parker, Albert Wilson. So yeah, it's tough for these young guys to get looks, and that's what the preseason's about. It's about these young guys more than getting yourself ready for the preseason, especially preseason game 2.
Rosen on third down. Incomplete. Would have been right at the first down marker. Throw was a little behind, and Ryan Smith knocked it out of the hands of Preston Williams.
Great hit by Ryan Smith. Playing in zone coverage, and one thing about zone coverage, you have your eyes on the quarterback. All you got to do is react. I love how he lowered his pad level there, though, Chris. So many times over the past couple of years, especially with the emphasis on safety, you talk about how to hit receivers. What's the strike zone, so to speak, and he found it right there, kept his head out of it. Perfect form tackle hit, dislodged the football.
Preston Williams being checked on. Jason Sanders made all 6 kicks in the opener against Atlanta. 2 for 2 in the field goal department, had 4 point afters. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. Through. Dolphins break the ice. 3-0 advantage. They passed on an earlier chip shot field goal. See how Bruce Arians responds with Blaine Gabbert running his offense, trailing by 3. 12-10 to go before the half. Giants superstar Tim McGraw when he plays a free full concert here at Raymond James Stadium. It's before the Buccaneers take on the 49ers in the regular season opener Sunday, September 8th. The concert at 2. It's free when you buy a game ticket, and don't miss the special halftime encore, part of the NFL's Fantennial celebration, NFL 100. Get your tickets today at Buccaneers.com/tickets. Dolphin and Buck fans enjoying tonight's game. 3-0 Miami now. Bobo Wilson with a chance to return. And up across the 20-yard line. Check on the Advent Health scoring drive. Advent Health, the exclusive hospital of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, over 8.5 minutes.
Chris, you talked in your open about the things that Bruce Arians wants out of his football team. Well, physical is one of them, and if there's anything we've seen from that Buck defense tonight that I can hang my hat on, is that they're playing physical, especially in the run game. See some strikes in the secondary and from the linebacking unit, and bodes well for things to come.
Andre Ellington is in at running back. He had the fumble off a reception. Only turnover this game. And running the football. It was interesting, Rondé. We know that Bruce Arians has that air it out kind of philosophy. At least that's been his history, having had success with quarterbacks from Watt to Roethlisberger and Manning and Carson Palmer more recently. Well, last season, of the 10 teams that made the playoffs, 8 of them ran the ball the most of teams in the league, and he's talked about creating some kind of running game so that Jameis Winston doesn't put it all on his shoulders, or any quarterback.
Well, I think you have to run the football in the NFL. It shows patience. I mean, if you have the runner, you can commit to it. And, of course, you're going to get your shot plays, so to speak, out of this offense. There's just too much talent on the outside not to take advantage of it.
Hit as he threw the ball. Gabbert went down. Tank Carradine, former Florida State Seminole, making the play on Gabbert. And it'll be 3rd and 8.
Well, again, trying to identify tackles and offensive linemen, and you see the rush on Cole Boozer, and look, you got to be able to protect that side of the football field. We know what Donovan Smith is over there at left tackle, but his backup yet to be identified.
Yeah, second unit offensive lineman in, and that's something Bruce Arians kind of called out. Bottom third of this roster this week. Gabbert can run, but can he get the first down? Stop short. Excellent defensive play to keep him at the 30-yard line. Jamal Wills ran him down from his corner spot. It'll be 4th
down. The field is down by contact. 4th down.
Ball came out late, but ruled down right away.
Well, again, back-to-back plays. You see breakdowns in the offensive line and pass protection, and Blaine Gabbert had no choice but to get out of the pocket there. It was a longer developing route, and as he was looking, there was just collapsed on him. He has nowhere to go with the football, and those are the frustrations from Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians. These guys might have to play, and they haven't really shown the ability to be reliable.
Bradley Pinion, Preston Williams. Flag comes in as he gets up near the 40-yard line. It was a 41-yard punt. Pinion also has the leg to do kickoffs, as he did last year when he was a member of the 49ers, or at least when he did it through the first 4 years there.
During the return, holding number 38 of the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
And that'll push the Dolphins back. Let's check in on the field with Dan Lucas.
Yeah, guys, you notice coordinator Byron Leftwich prefers to be on the field rather than upstairs. He likes to talk to his quarterbacks after each series. He wants to be in the head of Jameis Winston. And one thing they're working on are decisions by Winston during the preseason. And the saying that Leftwich gave us earlier this training camp is, I don't want the money throw, I want the money decision. And you've seen Jameis tuck the ball on a couple of occasions instead of trying to force the throw.
All right, thank you, Dan. And all three. That's an excellent defensive play on Mark Walton. A flag comes in again. Already 4 penalties on Miami.
Going to that Jameis comment, it's about patience, taking what's there. You don't have to be the guy that tries all those risky throws. And of course, we know what kind of arm talent he has.
There are fouls. There are fouls by both teams. Personal foul, grasping the face mask. Defense number 53. Holding, offense number 71. Those penalties all set. Replay first down.
Yeah, Damone Harris called on that penalty for the Bucs, so they'll replay it.
And I hate using this term sometimes, but I use it a lot, especially with young quarterbacks, Chris, is playing simple is playing good football. It's not always about making the spectacular, and especially is making the spectacular when you have a team that struggled in the past 4 years stopping the play on defense. They weren't very good, so all those turnovers turned into points, and you end up in shootout type of games, and Bucs just weren't ever able to win many of those.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Winston can take advantage of a guy who has earned the label of the quarterback whisperer and written a book about it, and Bruce Arians.
Have you read that book?
I have read it. In fact, when it came out last year, I have autographed it to me. I like to collect those kinds of things when you work with some of the quarterbacks he has. Plus, I like his quotes. He says a lot of funny things.
He is the king of the one-liner.
Yes, buddy. He's like the crazy uncle. Pressure and thrown down is Rosen at the 20. Shaq Barrett, who has been brought in from the Broncos for just that reason.
Well, interesting enough, Shaq Barrett played last week, and he spent most of his time on the left outside linebacker. Here he's lined up at right outside linebacker, and he gets a big assist there from Pat O'Connor, who took up the block of the offensive tackle, and he just sprinted around the corner for a layup sack.
Loss of 7. Todd Bowles smiling. Rosen from his own 10, pressured again and goes down again inside the 15. Give credit to Patrick O'Connor, and again Shaq Barrett.
Shaq Barrett's the one that had the inside rush move and pushed the pocket up and ran the quarterback right into Pat O'Connor. Pat O'Connor's a guy I like. For what he is a hard worker. You see the pressure there on the outside forces Josh Rosen to have to step up into the pocket, and there's no way for him to go with Pat O'Connor standing in his way. But back to Pat. I mean, he's in a battle for a roster spot, obviously. They have so much depth along the defensive line with the 3 starters who we know that they are. Hakeem Nunez Roches is probably the 4th tackle. And he's got to find a way. Plays like that will definitely help.
Flag down on the punt that went out of bounds. Patrick O'Connor. Let's listen to our referee.
Ineligible downfield on the kick. Number 29 of the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty is administered at the dead ball spot. First down. Timeout.
Patrick O'Connor, the free agent from Eastern Michigan, with his hustle. The offense for the Bucs in a moment. Next Friday night, 7:30, the Browns will be here at Raymond James. We'll see Baker Mayfield. We hope you join us. 7:30, Bucks and Browns only on your official Bucs station, News Channel 8. Best field position starting out a drive for the Bucks in this first half. Blaine Gabbert from midfield. Started at the 24, the 33, the 2-yard line on their own 22. Ogunbowale, maybe a yard or a half a yard on the carry. It's Akeem Spence from Fort Walton Beach, the former Tampa Bay Buck and Detroit Lion, making the tackle for Miami. Ogunbowale, the older brother of Notre Dame women's basketball star Arike, won the 2018 national title, played in the 2019 women's Final Four in Tampa, before losing to Baylor in that final. And he remains the back. Catch at the 45 and thrown down right away. Tanner Hudson, who had a number of penalties, but some outstanding grabs in the opener against the Steelers last week, trying to make this team as a tight end, and it's already a deep position.
Well, yeah, that's the one position where you know they're good on the first two, and really three, because Auclair is going to be the blocking type tight end. It's his job, Tanner's job. Eliminate the mistakes, because he can catch everything. He can be a receiving type tight end for your offense, but he's got to convince them that they need to keep four. A lot of that conversation is going to go into whether or not they keep that extra receiver or not, depending on what he can do.
Gabbert has time, a catch in the clear, inside the 30, Bobo Wilson.
Every team in football runs this concept, Chris. On offense, it's called opposite high-low. So you see one receiver run across from one side, another come from the other, and what it does is usually confuse the defense, and you see the confusion of the Dolphins secondary, and it's a easy dump off to Bobo Wilson, and that's what you like about him, that explosive speed that he has. You know, the one X factor in making a decision on Bobo, is you ask Bruce Arians, is he really only plays one position. The benefit of a guy like Justin Watson, he can play all three, he can be that blocking type receiver for them. Bobo is just an outside receiver.
Gabbert's throw high and incomplete for Wilson, who picked up 30 on the previous play. You saw Gabbert pointing toward his face mask, toward his head area, as if he was either hit or grabbed there. Brad Allen saying, I didn't see it, or at least indicating that. Checking the plays. Leftwich calls the plays. Obviously Arians is listening in, but Arians made his living on calling plays, so he must trust Leftwich a lot.
I think he does. We'll get into that, the reasoning behind that again. Why Byron Leftwich is getting the opportunity to call plays in Bruce Arians' offense.
Ogunbowale shoved backward.
I think a lot of it has to do with his relationship with the quarterbacks. He's relatively young, so to speak. I mean, I play with him, so he's kind of old.
Well, younger than Bruce Arians. Okay, let's put it that way.
Rather than BA, but yeah, Jameis Winston was telling me a couple of months ago when he first got a chance to work with Byron that, yeah, I can relate to him. He can tell me what I should be seeing, what I should be feeling in these certain calls. And you know, Byron was a guy that called his own plays in Pittsburgh for Bruce Arians.
Also was the first round, not #1 overall, but he knows the pressure of the job.
Absolutely.
Catch made inside, move to the 10, down to the 5, and Tanner Hudson showing some running ability as well as receiving skills. We'll check the spot on if they go, and I think on 4th down, likely they are lining up.
Quarterback sneak.
4th and inches, we'll call it. Diving forward is Dare Ogunbowale.
I like quarterback sneaks in those situations simply because the defensive line is still struggling to get lined up. You know, they're not hands in the dirt. They don't have an extra body that they put in to clog up that A-gap. Quarterbacks can usually just give a nudge to the center and fall forward for that yard, but they obviously had a play in. They've scheduled that when they have hurry up type of play. They still pick up the first down.
1st and goal from the 5. Hudson, who has 9 catches in the preseason. Tanner Hudson helped set that up so they could go on 4th. Ogunbowale shoved backward, will lose yardage as soon as he got his hands on the football. Sam McGuavin has been all over the field here in this first half for Miami.
Well, you can see the difference. We mentioned earlier in the football game about the push on the offensive line, the double teams, the push up to the second level that opens up those gaping holes that we saw Ronald Jones burst through. Those are non-existent here with this backup line. And yeah, you're trying to establish the run. You're trying to give these guys opportunities. I mean, the Bucs are short at center with Evan Smith gone. They're short at guard.
So a throw here into the turf.
I think he saw the defender there getting ready to break on that out and actually put it in the dirt on purpose.
Just dumped that into the turf, and now it's 3rd and goal.
I'm not sure if he threw that thing at the receiver,
no,
that wasn't going to be a 95-yard touchdown the other way. So all I'm trying to say is good job by Blaine Gabbert.
Way to get rid of it and avoid trouble. You're in an opportunity to score here. Even if you don't get the first down, you can at least try a field goal. That's Tanner Hudson in the slot. Gabbert is sacked inside the 15-yard line. Christian Wilkins, the first rounder from Clemson for Miami, all 315 pounds of him. But Gabbert had some time. I think he thought he could get out of that and make some kind of a throw.
He was looking for Tanner Hudson, really similar to the play that Tanner scored on last week. You get a bunch route combination up top and call it spacing. He's looking to open up the defense in a quick throw, but well covered by the Dolphins, and offensive line is not able to hold up for make a scramble type reaction play.
Rookie Matt Gay, drafted in the 5th round, hit a 55-yarder, his only kick in the preseason opener from 32 yards away. It's good. Slightly ahead of the veteran Cairo Santos, who's going to win the place kicking battle. And just over 2.5 to go before the half. The Buccaneers and the Dolphins are tied at 3. Buck fans, if you missed any of the game tonight, got you covered. You can see the special encore presentation. Buccaneers and Dolphins Sunday at 4 over on Great 38. Rondé Barber, Chris Myers. Nice having News Channel 8 News Director Dave Siliberti drop by before coming back to Tampa after having been here back in the day, but before Raymond James was even put together.
He's a large human being.
He's a big fan.
He's a big fan.
And glad to have him running the operation of WFLA as Matt Gay shows off that leg into the end zone and running it out. Mark Walton, and a win for the special teams because they keep him from beyond the 25-yard line. Look at the Advent Health scoring drive, and it's been a battle of field goals so far. Not a surprise, Rodney, when you look at what the Bucs record was last year. The Dolphins were a 7-9 team and made a coaching change. 53% of the games were one possession games in the league last year, and almost 30% were decided by 3 points or less. That's how close a season in terms of wins, losses, and getting into the playoffs can be.
Well, and you wonder why they invest in a kicker in the 5th round. Or it's important. Winning games is so minuscule. The difference between being 5-11 and 7-8 wins is so simple.
Rosen with a lot of scrambling to deliver the ball to Durham Smythe. And a first down. Dolphins have all 3 of their timeouts as we're nearing the 2-minute warning. They're trying to hustle up and save time after a gain of 22 yards. Bucs got the football to start the game, so in the second half, this is a plus. This is the way the Dolphins like to play it. Want the ball at the end of the first half and then receiving to start the second half. We've hit the 2-minute warning, and the Buccaneers preseason television network tied at 3.
Timeout.
Super Bowl to be held down in the Dolphins Stadium this year. Next year, of course, coming to Raymond James, 46-yard line of Miami. Carl Nassib, top pass rusher on the Bucs team, looking on. Jack Cichy is in the game, linebacker, along with outside linebacker Devontae Bond. Gaskin, the running back. They threaten extra pressure. Here it comes, and he's smothered right away.
Yeah, Jack Cichy, last season when Quan Alexander got hurt, Jack Cichy came into the game. He was going to be the starting middle linebacker on this football team, and couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 plays later, he tore his ACL. So this is his first action back for the Bucs. It's good to see him in the game, and he's had a pretty good preseason thus far, and his ability to play in there allowed the Bucs to move Devontae Bond to outside linebacker.
Running the football across midfield is Gaskin. Now Jeremiah Ledbetter is going to be out a couple of weeks, suffering an ankle sprain. Guy who can help things up front. But the linebacker situation, you should be okay for opening day.
If they get Levante back, which I think everybody's anticipating. Yep.
Rosen's throw is dropped. It was a perfect interception for Jamel Dean.
Jamel, those are too easy. You know why I like Jamel? My first name is Jamel also.
That's why we call you Rondé.
Spelled differently, but man, those opportunities, those are miss-ops. You don't get them that easy. And I know it's his first time playing a pro game. Maybe his eyes are a little bit too big. I tell you, he did have a very good week of practice this week against the Miami Dolphins. You get him on the press man coverage. His back is so big, his arms are so long. He just eliminates wideouts, and great coverage there. You just got to finish it.
Well, the good news was, even though he dropped the pick, it was on a third down play, so the Dolphins line up to punt. Just over a minute to go. Gabbard, if he remains the quarterback, will have time with a couple of timeouts. Try and snap this tie. Fair catch called for. Bounces and into the end zone. Out to the 20. Jameis Winston started one series, and Gabbard has taken over since. And for Miami, it's been all Josh Rosen. We would assume that in the second half, there's Jake Rudock, former Detroit Lion, quarterback at Michigan. It also played for Denver and Houston.
Yeah, we didn't see Ryan Fitzpatrick, of course. He didn't start this game. He started week 1 for Miami, and I got to think that competition is very, very wide open.
You mean to win the starting job for the Dolphins?
Yeah,
there was talk that it might be decided tonight or after tonight's game.
Well, I think if Josh has a good performance, it could be. And you got a young football team you're rebuilding. I don't see why you wouldn't want to start Josh Rosen, but it's up for Brian Flores to decide.
Incomplete for Justin Watson. Chris Lamons from Lauderhill, Florida, on the coverage. 2 timeouts, 47 seconds to go. Now, what you want to do, obviously, if you're the Bucs, is you just don't want to be in a position where you kick it out of here and you give the Dolphins a chance for a free kick or a late opportunity for a Hail Mary or field goal. Bucs had to use their timeout when there was a substitution issue that Bruce Arians was arguing, and they had to call it on defense. 3-man rush, and they still sack Blaine Gabbert.
Cole Boozer is struggling over there at left tackle, and that just can't happen. Yes, you're going to drop 8, so there's really nowhere for Blaine Gabbert to get rid of the football, but 3-man rushes just can't get home, especially
Miami,
not in 2 minutes.
It will be 30 seconds.
Charles Harris with the sack, and the Dolphins do call time because if they get the stop
please
here.
Reset the game clock to 43 seconds. 43 seconds on the game clock, please.
They'll have 2 timeouts. There's Brian Flores at just 38 years of age. His first head coaching opportunity in New England. He, over time, had coached all different positions. Special teams, on offense, defensive coordinator more recently. And takes over for Adam Gase, who went on to the Jets to take over head coach there, where Todd Bowles was let go, who is now, of course, the defensive coordinator for the Bucs and Bruce Arians. 3rd and 15. Gabbert throws short and complete at the 20, and it'll be 4th down as he is knocked down.
Well, he's taking a lot of hits. I think that may be the last pass we see of Blaine Gabbert tonight. His offensive line's not doing him any favors so far tonight.
Another first-round pick, Rondé, 10th overall by Jacksonville back in 2011. Started 5 games for Bruce Arians back in 2017 for the Cardinals when Carson Palmer got hurt. And a guy that Arians wanted here right away when he got here. Bradley Pinion. Good kick. 45 of Miami. Preston Williams to the 45 of Tampa Bay. 27 seconds, and the Dolphins will have 2 timeouts.
Well, you get a chance to check out these rushers here, 2-minute offense or 2-minute defense, and see if Josh Rosen can lead his team down into field goal range. And 47 seconds. He got, what, 2 timeouts left? 3 timeouts left for Miami. So 2 timeouts left. Sorry, thanks, Chris. But look, you can find any place on the field that throws
Please reset the game clock to 30 seconds.
And if you're Todd Bowles, you're probably playing some man-to-man defense in this situation.
Thank you.
Jason Sanders has hit from 50 yards. So you want to get 10 or 15 to give him a shot. Of course, if it's the end of the half, you don't worry about field position. Time for Rosen. Throw is on target inside the 30. Coming back to the football, Isaiah Ford.
Good route out there working on Sean Murphy bunting. He's playing off coverage.
Charge timeout. Miami, their second. It will be 30 seconds.
Dolphins now will have one timeout remaining, but on that gain, they're already in field goal range. A pickup of 20. So how about Bruce Arians calling out some people saying, 90 man rounds, I can already cut to 60 today, maybe even more when we talked to him before the game.
Well, I think you're getting your opportunity in the preseason, right, to show something. You know, he had a great quote to us. He's like, you're either getting exposed or you're gaining exposure, and you don't want to be in the former of that. You definitely want to be a guy that exposing a skill set that they find valuable. I think he saw a lot of guys that didn't really show up for him last week.
Rosen's throw is a good throw and falling to the ground. It's ruled incomplete. Preston Williams, now they're going to say he caught it. And they'll maybe take a look at this.
Charge timeout. Miami, their third and final.
2 minutes.
It will be 30 seconds.
Out of the 16-second mark. That catch inside the 20.
Well, they're showing the replay in the stadium, and
the officials need to take a look at this.
They will.
It's incomplete.
Yeah,
ball hit the ground.
Definitely hit the ground, Chris. And you'll see it here in this picture. And the timeout that Brian Flores took probably is going to lose him.
Yeah, it could work again. Yeah, they're moving him back.
Yards here. However, they will get their timeout back. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, Williams has had a tough night for as spectacular as some of his catches
the previous
were.
Play is under further review.
In week 1 for the Dolphins.
A couple of drops, but everybody's had some drops tonight with this football. But yeah, I mean, those are balls that you have to catch. You have to help out your young quarterback here. And you're right, Chris. He has been spectacular. I mean, the guy is, by all intents and purposes, should have been a much higher draft pick. He wasn't drafted. He was a free agent pickup because of some off-field issues that he had in college. But since he's been in Dolphins camp, he's really showcased an ability to be a big play guy. He's got great size and length, and that ball should have been caught.
Free agent from Colorado at 6'5".